Yeah, I used to be a Tory voter up until 2015,
Okay.
and obviously the main factor for that was Brexit. But I think over a period of time, I've sort of reflected over a lot of things at this moment in time, and I was trying to get to the root cause of where that decline started. And actually, I think the actual foundation started with the actual original Cameron government, and it was...
Oh, really? 2010 then?
2010. Well, right. I think, and it was one policy decision, and that was essentially the actual increase of student loan student fees.
Because that did for Clegg and the Lib Dems. I don't know that it.
Well, you have to sort of think about it, because essentially what ended up happening was the popularity of the Lib Dems absolutely collapsed after that.
Yeah, it did.
And that absolutely gave Cameron a slender majority.
In 2015.
In 2015.
Oh, I see what you mean. So, God, crikey, you have gone in deep, haven't you?
I have.
So you're talking about an alternative universe in which the coalition would have endured after 2015 because the Liberal Democrats would have still held the balance of power, and that would have prevented David Cameron from getting a slim majority and therefore desperately trying to protect it by throwing red meat to Farage and the rest of them.
That's exactly the point I'm trying to make.
Wow, we've got a winner.
And really then what ended up happening was essentially the Brexit vote. We got the headbangers in a war against the moderate fringe. Essentially the headbangers won.
They certainly did. Well, they didn't just win. It was a rout. They got Johnson chucked out everybody who was telling the truth.
Absolutely. And then that led to obviously the Theresa May being elected as leader. Essentially the red lines, which you've obviously discussed over a large period of time.
Not for a while, but you're right, aren't you?
Well, that's what we sort of think. And then, going back from then, obviously the Nutter Fringe needed to get power. And then, obviously, we had Johnson who got elected. But ultimately, we still haven't actually, in a lot of detail, analysed what actually Johnson was as how Johnson rose to power, and actually his actual leadership style. So
he's symptom and cause, isn't he? He's unique in so many ways. I mean, he's uniquely awful, uniquely brilliant at lying, uniquely disgusting, uniquely amoral, all of those things. But he is also uniquely both symptom and cause of the malaise that we're examining.
He is indeed. And the actual way he got into power, or the 2019 election, it was actually one of the, we all look at the actual election as being one of the dirtiest known to us. But actually, the actual general election 2019 was actually won on the 11th of November 2019, and that was essentially when Farage
pulled his candidates from all of those constituencies where the
Absolutely.
Where the Labour Party might otherwise have had something of a chance. You've taken me up to the news. I could listen to you all day. Do you do this for a living?
I spoke to you about a couple of years ago when we sort of gained what was Johnson's plan with basically the Brexit vote, James.
Well done. Straight back to the top of the class, Adam. I think you've been there all along.